Hello everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back to 30 Days of Sketches 7. We are on to day 28 and today's sketch is extremely special because the lovely Sarah Scraps designed it exclusively for the series. I love it. So this sketch, you can use this in so many ways. You can manipulate it and make it work for you. There's tons of room for interpretation, which I love. That's one thing about Sarah's sketches that just make me so happy. Like, I love to use her sketches. Now, I am going to be using some more of my Cozy Days collection. This is the Simple Stories collection from last season. It is one of the 5 collections that I gave myself to use up before I could do any more shopping. And so this is one of the very last layouts I've gotten done before I killed the collection. I didn't have a ton to work with. I had a little bit of paper in certain sizes that I could play with, and that's what I'm going to do. So first thing is I have this border, that gorgeous kind of maroon colored border. There's not a border in the sketch, but I really wanted to use it up. And so I also felt like probably most of my other patterns that I had to make this work weren't going to be full 12 by 12s. So adding the border gave me the opportunity to use other pattern papers I wouldn't have been able to use had I not. I'm going to use this huge piece that you see there, and I'm going to use it the size that it is. I'm making these scraps work for me. I love this piece. I actually saved it for the back side of it. It's got this gorgeous falling leaves, and it's the perfect crisp fall background. And that's what I had it for originally. But it just wasn't jiving with everything else. So I'm going to use the gray side and just go with it. I have to teach myself that I don't need to save pattern paper. There will always be pretty pattern paper down the road, so I don't need to save it. I then found this green, and the green, now, first of all, let me start by saying, I think you all know how I sometimes struggle with green, but this one for my plan was gonna work. So I'm gonna use this green. I really like how it pops up. And then I had the gap, and so that's where the pink plaid comes into play. So it all works. Now this pink plaid is one of the ones that didn't fit the whole 12 by 12, but I also happen to have these 3 pieces of pattern papers stacked like you can see there. That was way back from the other sketch from more closer to the beginning of the series where I had that. But then this was too big and I had to use a smaller condensed size. So I had all these things just all kind of fit. And the stack of 3 pattern papers kind of wonky layered like that helped me cover up the little notch that I had in the green and everything. It just all worked. I also had the fox, and so I'm going to fussy cut the fox out because it's so cute. And that's going to help the fact that on the top of the pattern paper layers, there's a little notch cut out there too. Because again, these are my scraps, so I have to use what I've got for me. All comes together. I picked these adorable photos of my little bear there. That was his first trip to the pumpkin patch. And that is where I hope you can see the green came into effect. So I do not always use my photos to help me pick my pattern papers. I do try to make sure that they jive and they work together, but I'm not one that has to match photos to paper. However, the green in that pumpkin patch fit that green pattern paper so well. And then with Barrett's little blue hat, everything just, the contrast, it just pops. And so that's what I went with. And I really love how it all turned out. I'm going to add that little fall sticker at the bottom there where you can see the title from the sketch. I just had the sticker and it's a really pretty sticker. I'm going to pop it up on some fun foam so that it's got a bit of dimension and you can read it a little bit easier. It does kind of fade into the pattern paper there. So popping it up on foam does help with that. And then I get to do the fun part where Sarah has a little bit of mixed media. I'm not doing mixed media, but she also has some florals. I am going to bring in that idea by going ahead and pulling some Rosie Studios ephemera. This ephemera is, I love Rosie Studios stuff. you get so much, and it's a good price value, and I just love it. So I get my Rosie Studio stuff from Scrapbook Your Joy. But what I ended up doing is using the leaves that matched within the collection, and it was like almost a perfect match. There's some gold in the ephemera that's not in the collection, but other than that, it was just, it all came together. So I love it. I'm so happy with how it turned out. This layout flew together, and I loved it. So make sure you check on and see what everyone else has done today. I hope you're enjoying it. We have 2 days left. We're almost done, and I can't wait to get done with this one. There's so much more fun things coming along down the road, and thank you everyone so much just for being here, and I love your support. I love that you're supporting everyone else in the series as well. It's an awesome community, so thank you for all of that. I think I'm about done. I forgot I left all of this in of me layering the leaves, but yeah. And I think I talked about the photo, right? It was just about Barrett's first trip to the pumpkin patch. He was okay. It wasn't his favorite thing ever. He actually didn't like the pumpkin. Like, if you can see his face, he's touching the stem of it, and he's kind of like, what is this? Like, he didn't love that part of it, but he did okay. He couldn't walk yet, but he could crawl, but he couldn't walk, and he wanted to get out, but we couldn't let him out because it was muddy. And so, that phase of being a baby is right where he was. So it's all good. Okay, I think we've done it. We've made it to the end. Thank you for sticking through. Sorry, this is a bad voiceover. I'll see you all tomorrow.